What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to The Breakdown. This is a series where I analyze subscriber gameplay to help you improve. In today's episode, we're going to be analyzing a team deathmatch gameplay on the map Aquarium from FrankTheGamer36. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so we're going to jump right into the gameplay here, and right off the break is what we're going to be talking about a lot in this video, and that is really thinking about a situation before diving straight in. So I want to pause it right here, and I want you guys to have a good look at the mini-map. Where would you say are the potential danger zones for Frank right now on the mini-map? Well, in Team Deathmatch, a danger zone is essentially any pocket on the map where you have no teammates. And as you can see, he's got a danger zone to his left and a danger zone to his right. He's immediately getting himself sandwiched between two different danger zones, and this is a big no-no when you're rushing, because now he is potentially completely surrounded. And it's not necessarily, is there definitely a guy over there? It's just that potential that you have to think about. There's potentially a guy to his left and potentially a guy to his right. And he dove straight in anyways. And I think he actually heard a guy to his right with his awareness perk, because I could hear it a little bit on my computer speakers. And then he started getting shot in the back from the guy that was to his left. So he was in fact sandwiched between two enemies there. And it was a very, very predictable situation with a little bit more minimap awareness. And this is the big difference between kind of blindly rushing towards your enemies and just constantly go, go, go without really thinking, versus effective rushing, which is push when you need to push, but evaluate the situation before you blindly rush in. Now right here he does a very similar thing. He thinks there might be a guy over there, but he's not too sure. There's also a danger zone to his left he's not too sure about, and now he's got a guy to the middle as well. So he just put himself into a situation where he doesn't know where the enemies are, and they could potentially be in a full 360-degree radius to him. This is not what you want to happen while you're rushing. Ideally, you want to make it so that your enemies can only get to you from one or maybe two different directions, as long as those two different directions aren't on the opposite ends of each other, so you're sandwiched between them. So if it's like one guy potentially right in front of you and one guy potentially a little bit to the right, that's okay. But don't get yourself completely surrounded. Now next up, as he spawns in right here, this is something that I want to talk about because I don't really ever see anybody mention this, and I feel like it's a very important thing to know, especially in game modes like Team Deathmatch. And that is paying attention to where you spawn when you actually spawn, instead of just sprinting straight forward. Most people will sprint straight forward out of spawn, which is what he does, but if you look at the minimap very closely here, try to find the pocket on the map where he doesn't have teammates, and therefore where most of the enemies are likely located. That pocket is actually to his right. It's not right in front of him, that's where all his teammates are, it's to his right. So the most effective thing for him to do right here would be to turn to his right and start pushing that way. He might potentially get on his enemy's flank because the enemies are likely all focused on his teammates, which are over towards the middle of the map. But in any case, he's getting to where the action is if he goes to his right. If he goes straight forward, he's not getting himself in the action, and this is where a lot of people fall down when they're wondering why I can't get more kills in a match. A lot of the times, it's because you're not looking at that big picture and trying to find out where those enemies are. You're just constantly pushing towards the same areas all the time, expecting it to be a hot spot. So after a little bit of time, it looks like he realized that yes, the spawns have kind of flipped now, and that's where the enemies are, so he turns around. Nice move right here. And another thing that I really like that he does here is he's patient. He doesn't take the shot at this enemy as that enemy's going around the corner. A lot of people would have taken the shot and exposed their position and everything to that enemy, and then that enemy could prepare for him. When he knew he couldn't get that kill before the enemy got around the corner, he was patient and he got up close to where he knew he was going to get the kill. Now, skipping ahead a little bit right here, you can see he's actually got pretty good map awareness. He knows where the danger zones are. He knows where the enemies are potentially coming from here. He gets pre-aimed, comes around the corner, he's got stock, that's great. Now he recognizes this is a hot spot right here, and he sees that his teammate died. Now instead of trying to find a way to immediately find cover and get into an advantageous situation against these guys, he just gets kind of caught out in the open and doesn't know what to do with himself and gets killed because he has absolutely no cover and his enemies had great cover there. This is an area you don't want to be caught in. If an enemy has control of that tunnel, you want to get away from this area at all costs because you're just a free kill for him. He would have been better to try to retreat back up the stairs or even push towards where the B domination flag is because he's at least got some cover over there and then he can deal with the situation in some way. Instead, he kind of tried to stand his ground and he didn't really look too confident about that, and he just got melted pretty quickly. If we skip ahead a little bit more, he actually makes a very similar mistake here again. He gets caught out in the open against a guy that has great cover there. And this just comes down to that map awareness and knowing when you don't have the advantage against your enemy. In this area right here, this is an area you only ever want to pass through. You don't want to be trying to challenge gunfights from this area unless it's absolutely necessary, which it wasn't in this scenario here. He's got so many areas he needs to worry about where enemies have great cover and a great sightline to the big open area he's standing in. Instead of trying to escape that situation at all costs, he tries to fight it out, and obviously it doesn't work out in his favor. Also, in that last scenario, you will notice that he once again got himself completely surrounded by enemies. He had enemies upstairs and enemies in that tunnel, and this is where flanking should really come in with his playstyle. He wants to be aggressive, I understand that, that's good, but he's rushing into the middle and getting himself surrounded too often. If he were to push the outskirts of the map, he will be able to control his engagements a whole lot better because he can keep his enemies in front of him instead of in every direction to him. So that's what I would definitely recommend as a change of playstyle, is work the flanks a little bit more. Don't go to the middle of the map quite so often. Maybe go there to pick off a couple kills, but then keep moving around on the flanks and don't linger in the open areas in the middle of the map. Skipping ahead a little bit here, I really like how he approaches this situation. He's aiming down sight, he's checking all the popular areas as he's coming around the corner, he's using cover, but he takes a hit from somewhere over to the side of him. And instead of being dumb and trying to challenge that, he was very smart about just retreating, healing up, getting a reload, and then coming back to attack with more confidence. Unfortunately, the Annihilator guy killed him, but that tends to happen when you go against a power weapon. Now, one last situation I want to show you right here is just the importance of having fast hands combined with quick draw if you're going to be an aggressive player like this. If you're going to rush out into situations, you're planning on sprinting around corners in some situations and taking that risk, it's very important to have fast hands and quick draw. As you can see right here, he just gets absolutely destroyed because he can't get his gun up fast enough because he sprinted around that corner and he doesn't have fast hands and quick draw. If he would have had fast hands and quick draw, he would have had a decent chance at this gunfight, but he wasn't playing to the strengths of his class, and therefore he didn't have a realistic chance in this gunfight. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode of The Breakdown. I'm still not accepting any new submissions for the series at this point because I still have a lot of gameplays piled up. The gameplay we actually broke down today was sent to me in December, so that just goes to show how far I am backed up at the moment. I've still got tons of gameplays to work through, so I'm not taking any new submissions at the moment. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.